All right, welcome to another episode of Talking Ball with Pat Leonard. We have a very special guest today, Giants captain and middle linebacker Bobby Okereke. First, I want to tell you guys about Bet Online. The holiday season is off and rolling. The NFL is in full swing. NBA and NHL are hitting midseason form, and Bet Online is your number one destination for all your sports wagering info. Up to the minute sports wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions. Bet Online is the top spot for all pro and amateur sports, not just the big four. BetOnline has info available at your fingertips with desktop and mobile access at any time for almost any sport, from MMA to international soccer. Head to BetOnline website today and use our promo code BLEAV, BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. And as I said, where we are going to start is with, in my mind, the Giants team MVP for the 2023 season, a blockbuster free agency signing, a great addition to the team on the field, and a great addition to the locker room, in my opinion, Bobby Okereke. Bobby, thanks for joining me, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Pat. This is fun.
Yeah, no, you got it. So you're here with Mummy Sleep. First, I wanted you to tell us a little bit about what you got going on there. I know you're an investor in this company that has some intriguing products.
Yep. Yeah, I'm an investor. I'm on the advisory board, and Mummy Sleep's a pillow company. They have a patented design, splits the pillow up into four different chambers on each side, and it really just is probably the most comfortable pillow I've ever had. A couple of my teammates attest to it, but it stays fluffed all night. Based on the technology, it stays cool, and yeah, it's just a very sleek pillow, and it's definitely a must-have for the holidays.
I saw you hooked up the linebacker room with them. Did you get some feedback on that already from the guys?
Yeah, I did. I mean, most guys are saying it's probably the best pillow they ever had.
Wow.
But yeah, it's flat, it's sleek, it stays fluffed. One of my good buddies, Jacob Eason, he came over. He tried out the pillow. So yeah, I've got a lot of good reviews about it.
Very cool. Well, you're a guy who needs some rest because of all the work you're putting in. Played 100% of the snaps on defense so far, 796 snaps to be exact. Really impressive, especially because you revealed to us recently, at least before the New England game, you said you were playing with a broken rib, a broken pinky, and an injured hip. And what I wanted to know from you is, what is your routine to get ready for a game when you have all those things going on? Like, take me through the rest, recovery, and preparation process of getting your body ready to play, let's say, the New England game with all of that going on and all the games that you've played so far.
Yeah. So let's say a normal work day for us is 8:30 to 6. That's when our first defensive meeting is, and the training room opens at 7. So guys who are injured, it's mandatory for you to show up. But most days I'm in there at 7:15, and I got this whole activation, recovery, stretch routine I'm doing. Start off on the slant board, stretch my ankles, stretch my calves out, my Achilles. Just the way I see physical therapy and really just activation and treatment for my body. It's like buying insurance. You could say it's money wasted or it's time wasted, but when a potential injury happens, we all know injury rate in the NFL is 100%, and freak injuries happen all the time. So
that's right.
I just try to put myself, in best position to stay healthy. So yeah, make sure I work on all my extremities, get my quads worked on. I'm always rolling out on a tennis ball or a PVC pipe. I'm working with Steve Kennelly. I'm doing my Kennelly cogs in the back of the training room, working with him a good maybe 20, 30 minutes a day. Really just trying to make sure, all my movement angles are right, all my joints are good, so that I can withstand the impact that it takes to play this game.
Really detail-oriented person and player. I can tell it shows up on the field. Some of your stats so far: 113 tackles, 8 passes defended, 4 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions, 9 tackles for loss. And we saw the Pro Bowl voting just came out. We got the results of that. You are second among all NFC inside linebackers in Pro Bowl voting, 5th overall, well-deserved. My question to you, Bobby, is this the best ball you've played in your career? I know you've played high-level ball now for several years now, but are you playing at your highest level at the moment for the Giants?
I'm playing at my consistently highest level for sure.
Okay.
There's been a couple of times, maybe some bigger splash plays I've made, My rookie year had that 99-yard 2-point conversion run back for 2 points. That was fun. In 2021, I had an insane interception where I laid all the way out against the Patriots. But I think just playing and play out, obviously from like filling the stat sheet and all these different categories. But I think just from my understanding, communication, and awareness on the field, this is the most comfortable and best I've been playing for sure.
One thing that amazed me was, you came in as a new player and person to the locker room. It did not take long, though, for you to be named a captain and then to be that captain, not only for the defense, but one of the guys for the team from my vantage point. And I was wondering when did you go from, feeling the situation out to really stepping forward and becoming like one of the top voices and faces internally on the team. Like from my vantage point, the Miami Buffalo game there where you get your hand on the football in Miami, you force the fumble in Buffalo, you and Micah really start kind of gelling. Seemed like things started kind of taking off from there, but obviously you get named the captain well before that. So I'm just wondering, when did you get to the point where you felt that comfortable? Because it did seem to happen pretty quickly for you.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I think around those 2 games, football, football is such a meritocracy, and it's such a game, it's such a performance business that it's hard to be a leader, an influential leader, if you're not, making those big time plays and changing the game. I think ever since I came here, just work habits, work ethic that I've had, discipline that I've shown with my routine, I think that's what teammates respected. And that's something I've cultivated over 4 years, watching guys like Anthony Walker and Darius Leonard before me and, taking stuff from their routine and integrating it into mine. But I think as, my playmaking started to follow and, really shine on game day, those two things kind of married up perfectly and really just helped me be a positive influence on this team.
So, well, now Shaq Leonard signing with your division rival, the Philadelphia Eagles. Was it crazy to see him, leave the Colts, having played there for 4 years with him, knowing what he meant to that organization, and then, what was your reaction to him joining the Eagles?
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, he was such an influential player. I mean, in the start of my career, and I mean that span of from 2020 to really 2022. I mean, arguably the best linebacker in the league. And when you look at the stats, it's insane. Like obviously you listed off my stats. I'm having a good year, four forced fumbles, 2 interceptions. When you think in 2021, he, was attributed to 15 takeaways, 8 forced fumbles, 4 picks, 3 fumble recoveries. That is insane. I don't know another linebacker is going to do that in the next decade. That's insane. So yeah, he's just such a special player. It starts with his mindset. It starts with his work ethic. For me, I'm excited. I'm probably going to get a Eagles Leonard jersey I get to hang up too. That'll be fun. Yeah, I'll see him twice a year, and he's one of the most competitive guys I've ever met. So it'll be fun.
He's still got some juice left to help the Eagles. It looks like they needed help in that area.
Yeah, they do. I mean, I know Nakobe Dean. He's injured right now.
Yeah,
so they could use some boost in the linebacker position. He's working his way back. 2 back surgeries is nothing to sneeze about for sure. But he's got the mentality, he's got the work ethic, and he's just such a special player that I think he'll be back in no time.
Back to your guys' linebacker core, does seem like as you have stepped to the forefront, the young Micah McFadden as well has had a season where he's really opened up some eyes. What have you seen from him? Why has he taken a step forward? And how well have you guys worked off each other? And why has that been the case?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for Micah is maturity. Growing into this role, obviously he played in this scheme last year and had his growing pains in his rookie year, like everybody does. But he's just playing with such a confidence and such a poise that, it's fun to watch. We always talk about, a second after the ball snap, depth of the linebacker. If we start at 5, okay, how far down the line of scrimmage you're getting. And a second after the ball, Mike is already at 2 yards because he's processing it so quick. He's trusting his instincts and he's flying downhill. So he's making a lot of plays. I think he's got like 11 TFLs right now, which is insane thinking about. He's only playing 50, 60% of snaps. So, he's been such a great player for us. And ever since I got here, I tried to preach to the linebackers, especially, competition breeds excellence. And, if I'm going to be my best self, I need you to be your best self every day, competing against me in practice, pushing me so I can push you. And I think that's what this linebacker group has been. The addition of Isaiah Simmons was huge for me, for Micah, for the whole group, just to add, competition and really just camaraderie in the group. And I mean, you're seeing top to bottom. Obviously, Darren Beavers is getting healthy, making his way back, but Cam Brown, Carter Coughlin are making splash plays and really energizing the team on game day. So we take a lot of pride in our linebacker play.
I do think it's the most improved room on the team, and I don't think it's close. And I think that's a credit to John Eguguaru, your position coach.
Yeah,
100%. And also to your leadership, frankly. Talking about your defense and the coaching staff too, you come here, you played high level in Indianapolis, but you come here and now you said you're playing consistently your best ball of your career. What about Wink Martindale's defense has helped unlock a few things in you? And what have you helped unlock in Martindale's scheme as well?
Yeah. I mean, Wink's essentially like a linebacker whisperer. Ever since I got here, obviously I've been here for 4 years. I've been coached by a lot of good coaches. I have technique that I've acquired, but it's just the little tweaks and just the subtle coaching points he'll give me that like really make these big aha moments for me, and just accumulated over time. Whether he's telling me, split my alignment out by 2 yards or back up a yard in this specific play, or think about this or think about that. Like he's just imparted so much wisdom on me that it's really taken my game to the next level.
That's really interesting. And so those are points for you on the field, but then also maybe even while you go back and study tape to just kind of stew over and then apply in your own way, essentially. Like
100%.
It's not heavy-handed.
Exactly. And we talked about me going back and watching old film of CJ Mosley with the Ravens, and that's what made a lot of that click too. So it's been fun. Obviously, we blitz a lot here. We play a lot of man. I think some of my experience, playing cover 3 and cover 2, and helping guys around me feel comfortable, understanding the scheme, and beat it and ways that offenses try to attack us in that scheme. I think that's just helped me make this defense gel even more.
Really interesting insight. Unfortunately, this is my next question is there's, by now, as you and I talk here in week 14, there's some well-documented friction between your head coach, Brian Daboll, and Wink Martindale, your DC. Sounds like there's a good chance Martindale might not be here next year, despite all the positives that you've seen from the defense these past 2 years, especially with you here this season. So my question to you is, as the leader of the defense, one of the leaders of the defense, how devastating would it be to lose Martindale, to lose the coordinator of this defense? And, as a player leader, is there anything you can do to change or impact situations like this when all this noise, starts around you guys?
Yeah, I think it's tough. Wink has just been such an influential coach for me in my career to this point, and really just, to this whole defense. Just does a great job of just bringing everybody together, making sure we're all on the same page, and not making football too complicated, thinking about all these different X's and O's and schemes and ways that teams are going to attack you. Really just boil it down to kick the guy's ass in front of you and play more physical than the other opponent, and just understanding from the mindset of that you got to dominate your opponent. So Wink's been extremely instrumental in that point. It'll obviously be very devastating if he's not here next year. I don't even want to think about that. But yeah, it's tough. As players, we show up to meetings, we show up to practices, and we're in the locker room. There's a whole nother world upstairs of coaches and front office and what they deal with. So it's kind of hard for us to have any perspective on that. But
yeah,
I think Wink's just been such an influential leader for us, and everything that Dave's has done from a leadership standpoint, bringing this team together. Obviously everybody has different approaches, and I think friction, can be positive if you just want to get to the right result. Like obviously it's good to have difference of opinions. I think that promotes growth. So I think as long as everybody has their intention in the right place of being team first, I think it'll all work out.
Right. Well said. Conflict doesn't need to be negative. It can be constructive. So back to the present day defense, you guys are playing very well. You're leading the team to 2 straight victories, 8 turnovers forced by the defense, 9 total by the team in 2 straight wins over Washington and New England. Are you guys playing with supreme confidence right now? And how do you envision it translating when you watch the Packers, you watch Jordan Love, you watch how this team is playing, coming off a win over the Kansas City Chiefs? Do you think you guys have the opportunity, the ability to keep playing at the high level you are? Because frankly, it's almost like 2 different worlds going on right now. It's like your guys' record and the way the quote unquote season has gone. And then if you just zero in and watch your guys' defense right now, you wouldn't know you're watching the team that you just talked about mentioning those things.
100%. Like you said, the biggest thing for us has been turnovers, and all across the board, whether it's in the D line, linebackers, secondary, we're getting picks, we're getting forced fumbles, we're getting strip sacks. So that's been a secret ingredient, and we got to keep that up. But really just keeping our formula simple. Obviously, stop the run versus the Packers. That'll be a great challenge. They got a good offensive line, 2 really good dynamic running backs. And I think just really how dynamic and athletic our DBs are, that, frees us up to really focus on the run and, do a good job limiting them there, because this is probably the most difficult defense to be a defensive back in. You're playing man coverage a lot. You're playing blitz zero coverage a lot. A lot of times you're on an island, and, it's such kudos to those guys. Flott, Adoree, Deontay, Trey, XJ Pin, those guys are really saviors for this defense to be able to, run man coverage play after play, blitz zero coverage play after play, and really, give us an opportunity up front to focus on the run and stop the run and come downhill. It's marrying well together, rush and cover and rush just working together.
Interesting. I did think this, like, as well as Love is playing, he made a couple throws against the Chiefs where he kind of gave his receiver to make a play on kind of a jump 50-50 ball, and they were well-placed throws. But I remember thinking, watching that, based on how, McKinney, Pinnock, and, the corners and you guys are playing, it crossed my mind on that one touchdown in the back of the end zone. I thought McKinney would have caught that, right? And so,
that's the thing. It's like in the huddle, when we call man coverage, or we call blitz zero, like I can see the DBs, like their ears perk up because they know, oh, it's time. I got to go lock this guy down. And, I think our guys are the best in the business across the board at it.
No, for sure. And like you said, you've been getting your hand on the football, though. I have to ask you, how much junk did you get from the guys for not taking that pick back into the end zone?
I got a lot of junk. We showed it in the team meeting room. You heard a resounding when I cut back. So, I've been working on my return skills a little bit. Don't have to cut all the way across the grain. Can just give them a little stutter and go. But that's part of me getting better.
Awesome. Now, last one. I found it interesting that Tyrod got healthy, and then DeVito was still named the starter. Of course, Tommy's made some really good throws, has been the quarterback for 2 straight wins. But also Tyrod technically above him on the depth chart. He's got the veteran experience and the respect of the locker room. As a team leader, as a veteran, as a guy who, like, you guys are playing to win down the stretch these last 5 games. How did you process that call by the coaching staff, and how did the team process it?
Yeah. Obviously we have the utmost confidence and faith in our front office and Coach Dave's. So any decision, they make, we're going to ride for it and go to battle with. I just think Tommy's done, an insane job of just energizing our whole team. Coach Dave's talked about it. We had a team meeting, where we watched a bunch of highlights over the past two weeks, just kind of hammering in the point that we've been making plays and we've been playing with great juice. And, he talked about us playing with awesome passion. And I think that's what we've had since Tommy's, really stepped up. His confidence, his poise, his energy, his just next play mentality, just his ability to go out there and just say F it and throw a deep shot and play carefree. I think the whole team is feeding off that. We're playing with awesome passion. We're feeding off the offense's big plays. The offense is feeding off our big plays. So I think that's the tough thing, in this game. Momentum is such a, huge factor that when you have good energy and you have good momentum, it's almost like if it's not broke, don't fix it. But Obviously, Tyrod's been, an amazing pro for us. You look at his body of work through his career. You know, we're blessed to have him as a backup quarterback, and God forbid anything goes awry or situation isn't how we predicted it. I think we all have the utmost confidence that Tyrod's going to go in and put us in best position to win.
For sure. Interesting call. Big game Monday night, Giants, Packers. Remember, everybody, we are sponsored by Bet Online, also by Estate 98 Coffee. It's an Essencia Day Cafe from El Salvador, dates back to 1798. You can find them on Instagram, also on the website. And this has been Bobby Okereke. Like I said, in my opinion, team MVP. I think he should end up making the Pro Bowl. I think he should even be considered for All-Pro team. And he's here with Mummy Sleep. So go find that. Bobby, you can find that, Instagram, there's a website, all that, right?
Yeah, Instagram, their website, mummysleep.com. Also, go vote for Dexter Lawrence for the Pro Bowl. Insane that he's not top 10 in the voting right now, but I know when it goes to player and committee voting, I mean, he's going to be at the top of everybody's list. And I can't say enough about Saquon Barkley, just how talented, how special of an athlete he is. Obviously, everybody knows, but just from his leadership standpoint, to go through everything he's gone through and then to come in at half times of games. And, we're all looking at Saquon like, hey, we need you to put the team on your back. And he does and goes out and wins us games. He's just been such an incredible pro, such an incredible football player. And, I'm blessed to be a teammate of his, and hopefully I'm a teammate of his for a long time.
Wow, great window into the team. But amen on the Dexter thing, especially – you know what rang true to me? When Kayvon got to his 10th sack against Washington, somebody posted a graphic, Kayvon Thibodeau has 10 sacks, and he reposted it and said, thank you, Dexter Lawrence, because he's right. Because he's getting double teamed. So that Kayvon's out there.
Exactly. You're talking about all my stats and TFLs and tackles I've made. Thank you, Dexter Lawrence. I mean, thank you, Nacho, Ashawn, all those guys who were taking up double teams up front, being disruptive. But when you talk about this Wink Martindale defense, Dexter is really the engine that starts this whole thing, and he takes a big load for all of us. So we all just work together in unison to make this a great unit.
Bobby, awesome insight today. Thank you so much for joining me on the Talking Ball podcast. He's here with Mummy Sleep. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you next time, Bobby. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Pat. Appreciate it.